What is up, folks at home? Today we are going to talk about cold water and giant bass. Cold water bass fishing can be amazing. It can be super hard. We're going to talk about the top 5 lures that I'm going to fish in cold water to catch some giant bass. So let's hang out. It's going to be fun. Got some underwater, got some fish catches. Let's dive on in.
Really good fish. Look at that monster. Let's go. Black spot on the head, and look at that. Handing trap right down his throat. Let's go.
All right, folks, you guessed it. Number 1 is the trap. A rattle trap style bait is crucial in cold water because it is a pure reaction bait. Number 1. Number 2, it is one of the best baits to fish around dying vegetation, and green weeds are crucial in the cold water period. Not all weeds die at the same time. The deeper weeds are going to hang on to their green a little bit longer. If you can rip this bait out of green weeds in the wintertime and fish it and yo-yo it on the bottom, you are going to catch fish. I've caught fish all the way down to 39-degree water on a trap, yo-yoing it and ripping it. This is a Handing M1 trap right here. It's great. I've caught some big fish on it this fall into the winter period. I look for it to produce, but the trap is the first bait that I'm going to pick up in cold water simply because of its versatility and ability to rip through weeds and come through cover quickly and efficiently. Moving on to bait number 2, we're going to talk about the Ned Rig. Now, there's a lot of different ways to fish the Ned Rig. I have found lately that the best way to fish it is on the upgrade jig head by Ebb and Flow. This jig head is designed to hold on to baits forever and stand them up. Plus, it has a nice profile on it. It gives it a nice swim. The bait that I like to pair with it is the Crush City Craw from Rapala, and it is a TPE material. It stands up well on the bottom. It doesn't have too much action, but I found that this bait year in and year out has produced for me. This new craw is something that I've really been enjoying throwing lately. Caden figured this out in the summer, and we've really just leaned on this bait a ton, and it's been great. I can see it being great in the winter months as well because it has all the characteristics of a Ned Rig, but it is slightly a different look, and a lot of bass right now have seen Ned Rig, so this is a good change up to a classic presentation. Up at number 3, we have the single swim bait. The single swimmer is going to catch bass in the coldest of the cold water. You just change how you fish it. Here we have the upgrade jig from Ebb and Flow with a Diezel Swimbait Minnow on it in that ice blue color. I really like this combination because it's not overtly too aggressive for cold water. It really winds slow at a cold temperature, and the jig head itself destabilizes that swim bait. You get a good nice rock and roll on it. What I want to do in cold water is you're chucking and winding here. You're finding fish, but the Ebb and Flow jig head here gives you the ability to change sizes and weights and really target fish at any depth. So if they're up shallow feeding, you can target them up there. If they're super deep, you can drag this along on the bottom, and you're really going to get good play with it. The ability to mix mediums on this is also huge. You can run it slow, you can run it fast. It's got a good wobble and a good body roll. It's well designed, and the ability of the upgrade jig head to really hold on to that Elastec makes this bait last all winter for you. Also, up north, you run into a ton of pike this time of year. They're super active in the cold water. They will munch a swim bait. So that Elastec is super important, is not destroying a whole bunch of baits, and it allows you to really target fish where they are. It's an awesome bait, right? And it's bang for your buck, right? Jig heads aren't expensive. Swim baits aren't expensive. This is a good way to target fish in any water column, and they will get bit in the coldest of the cold. I've caught cold water fish on this exact presentation here. My change up to the Elastec bait is the Storm Largo Shad on the upgrade jig head. The Largo Shad is a little bit more finesse. It has less body roll than the other one. It's a little bit smaller profile than the Diezel Minnow, but it runs through what it needs to do. You can cover a lot of water with it. You can drag it on the bottom, and it's a great cold water swim bait. It's subtle. It does those things extremely well. And once again, bang for your buck. One jig head can do a bunch of things well. One swim bait can do a bunch of things well. Invest in it. You're not going to be disappointed. Coming in at number 4, we have the Alabama Rig. Now, the Alabama Rig, love it or hate it, is a cold water fish catcher. When that water gets in the 50s, it's very hard to beat an Alabama Rig, especially if you got windy conditions or wind blowing into pockets and fish are staged up deep. The Alabama Rig is one of the best ways to get it. Remember, when you're fishing the Alabama Rig, pop it and shake it and move it. It looks like a school of bait fish coming through. In Indiana, you can only use 3 hooks. In other states, check your regulations, but I like to run 2 teasers on the top, 3 hooks on the bottom, and literally you want the spread of your Alabama Rig to be as wide as you can get it and make it still castable. Some people say coffee can. I like widespread. I feel like you get bites better, and it does better with drawing power, making the school look bigger. Something to play with. And coming in at number 5 is the Jerkbait. Early in the cold water period, I really like the Berkley Stunna 112. I like it in that purple Tennessee shad color with the black head. I've generated a ton of bites fishing this in 6 to 9 feet of water off of the edges. Fish tend to want to push up to those edges to feed in cold water. The jerkbait is a great way to get those sluggish bass to do so. This bait is fantastic. There are a ton of jerkbaits that you can get into as the water gets colder. I get to those Vision 110s and 110 plus 1 juniors, all of those different jerkbaits, but the jerkbait is a fantastic way to generate bites in the cold water period. It's going to allow you to catch fish and to fish an active presentation for those bass. Matte colors work better on cloudy days. Clear colors work better on sun. Remember to mix and match those colors as you move through to see what's working better. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed the content on the channel. Lately, we've got a bunch of new partners. We're doing a bunch of new stuff. Please visit our partner links, buy stuff from those guys, help them out, help out Omnia, help out Ebb and Flow, help out Handing. That helps the channel out. It allows us to do more and create more content so we can help you guys learn how to fish. As always, in the comment section, let us know what you wanted to see in the future. Let us know how we can help you. Give us a like, subscribe, hit those links. It's buying season right now, so buy up on those links. Help support the channel. Help us catch more fish. Help us teach you guys how to catch more fish. We'll see you next time. Enjoy this fish catch.
Let's go! That's another big old bass on that trap.